The shadow has passed, the moon has returned to light, and with it, everything inside you feels different. Divine Feminine, the eclipse was never meant to break you. It was meant to reset you. It stripped illusions. It pressed on wounds. It shook your heart. But now, what remains is clarity. A new frequency is rising in your body. A lighter energy, a sharper truth, a deeper strength, and the question is no longer, can you survive the storm? The question now is, will you embody the new power the eclipse has unlocked in you? Because this is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning of your next chapter. So, what the eclipse took from you when the shadow crossed the moon, it was never just about the sky. It was about you. The Divine Feminine has always been the vessel, the one who feels the currents first, the one who carries the deepest sensitivity, the one whose body, mind, and spirit are tuned into frequencies others ignore. So when the eclipse came, it did not pass gently through you. It stripped you. It took illusions. It took stories that you held on to out of fear. It took attachments that were weighing you down. It took comfort zones that no longer belonged in your future. For many feminines, the days before and during the eclipse felt heavy, disorienting, even painful. Old wounds rose like they had never left. Memories you thought you had buried played again in your mind. Fears you thought you had healed whispered in your chest. You may have felt exhaustion, confusion, or waves of emotion that made no sense. This was not regression. It was cleansing. The eclipse reached inside you and pulled up what could not remain, because union cannot be built on illusions. The field cannot stabilize with dead weight still anchored in your body. The feminine had to be emptied so that she could be filled again. This was the true work of the eclipse. It did not come to take from you what was real. It came to remove what was false. Think about what surfaced for you. Was it fear of abandonment? Doubt of your worth? The ache of not being chosen? The exhaustion of carrying too much alone? Whatever it was, see it clearly now. That was what the eclipse came for. Not because you are weak, not because you failed, but because you are ready. Ready to release. Ready to stand without it. Ready to embody more of who you truly are. For some, the eclipse also removed external attachments. People, situations, distractions that were draining your energy. Perhaps connections dissolved. Perhaps jobs shifted. Perhaps certain patterns in your life broke down suddenly. At the time, it may have felt chaotic, but in truth, it was precise. The universe knew what had to go. The eclipse was the scalpel, cutting away what no longer belonged. And now the light has returned. The moon is whole again, and you, feminine, stand lighter, clearer, sharper. You may still feel the aftershocks, waves of release, tears that come without warning, a strange emptiness where an old wound used to live. But that emptiness is not loss. It is space. Space for the new frequency to enter. Space for the next stage of union to anchor. The eclipse took from you everything you did not need for where you are going. Every illusion that could have delayed you, every weight that could have broken you, every mask that could have kept you small. It stripped you, yes, but only to reveal the truth that was waiting underneath. So do not mourn what left. Do not chase what collapsed. Do not grieve the shadows that were pulled out of you. They were never your home. What the eclipse took from you was never yours to keep. And what remains is you, raw, open, ready. This is the beginning. When the shadow lifted and the moon returned to light, something inside you shifted too. The heaviness began to dissolve, and in its place, a new vibration entered. At first, it may have felt subtle, a strange calm, a sudden breath of relief, a spark of clarity cutting through the fog. But these are not coincidences. They are the first signs of the new energy that the eclipse opened for you. You may notice your body feels different. The exhaustion that pressed on you for days begins to lift, replaced by short bursts of vitality, as if life itself is re-entering your veins. The ache in your chest eases, your breath deepens, your sleep brings visions instead of only restlessness. This is how energy moves. The body responds first. The eclipse cleared density, and now your vessel feels lighter. You may also notice your emotions begin to transform. Where there was grief, now there is gratitude. Where there was fear, now there is curiosity. Where there was longing, now there is a steadier faith. This doesn't mean the journey has become effortless, but it does mean the weight is no longer the same. The new energy is softer, clearer, and far more aligned with truth. Your mind, too, begins to shift. The endless cycles of doubt, the racing thoughts, the constant need for answers, they grow quieter. Instead, flashes of intuition arrive. A calm knowing whisper louder than fear. You catch yourself trusting without evidence, believing without needing to see. This is not delusion, it is alignment. The eclipse stripped the illusions, and what remains is your natural clarity. Signs in the external world will confirm this shift. Synchronicities multiply, numbers on clocks, songs that speak directly to your heart, dreams that feel more real than waking life. You may even feel the masculine's energy pressing closer, not in chaos, but in restlessness that carries a new quality, softer, more surrendered, less resistant. This is how you know the field has changed. The new energy also reveals itself in your desires. Where before you may have been consumed with waiting, you now feel called to create, to move, to embody your mission. You are less focused on when will he come, and more anchored in how do I shine now. This shift is everything, because when you embody your own light, the field becomes magnetic. The masculine feels it. He is drawn to it. He cannot resist the home your energy creates. And here lies the truth. The new energy after the eclipse is not about waiting. It is about becoming. The feminine is not asked to sit in passivity, but to step fully into her alignment, to walk as though union already exists, to breathe as though love is already real, because it is. The more she lives from that truth, the faster it anchors into the physical. Yes, there may still be moments of heaviness. Energy clears in waves. But the difference now is that you are no longer defined by them. You feel the fear rise, and you let it pass. You sense the old longing, and you breathe through it with trust. This is what mastery looks like. Not the absence of feeling, but the ability to stand steady within it. The first signs of the new energy are not just feelings, they are evidence. Evidence that the eclipse did its work. Evidence that the illusions no longer hold. Evidence that your field is shifting into something more powerful, more magnetic, more inevitable. So when you feel the sudden calm, the bursts of clarity, the deeper breath, the stronger signs, recognize them. They are not random, they are proof. Proof that the old cycle has ended. Proof that you are already standing in the new chapter. Proof that the energy of union is closer than ever. The shadow has passed. The light has returned. And so have you. How the masculine feels after the eclipse. The eclipse did not only move through you, divine feminine. It touched him too, the divine masculine. And while you may have felt it first, carried the weight of the shadows, and released the wounds in your body, the aftermath is beginning to reach him now. The masculine is not designed to absorb energy the way you do. His nature is to resist, to fight, to push away. but no eclipse can be resisted forever. The shadow reached him, and now his soul trembles in the light of what has been revealed. At first, he may not even understand what he is feeling. There is a restlessness in him, a heaviness that does not have a clear source. He wakes up feeling unsettled, his chest tight, his thoughts scattered. The distractions he once leaned on to numb the connection, work, routine, relationships, addictions, endless noise, no longer soothe him. They feel empty, almost unbearable. The very things that once worked for him now collapse under the weight of truth. The masculine feels the eclipse as a breaking from the inside out. He may look the same on the outside, still silent, still avoiding, still running, but internally, his soul is louder than his ego. The excuses no longer hold, the masks no longer fit. He cannot deny the pull toward you, even if he still tries to fight it. The eclipse has stripped his energy of illusions, and though his mind resists, his spirit cannot unsee what has been revealed. Many masculines feel this as grief. They realize how long they've run, how much time they've wasted, how many walls they built between themselves and the truth. The grief is heavy, not only for you, but for themselves, for the years they denied their own heart, for the love they pushed away because fear seemed safer. This grief is sacred. It is his awakening in motion. He also feels it as longing. You may notice waves of desire pressing into your field more strongly now. Dreams where he reaches for you. Sudden surges of energy where you feel him close, almost as if he is standing beside you. This longing is not weakness. It is his soul pulling him back into alignment. The eclipse tore down his walls, and behind them was always you. But alongside the grief and longing, the masculine also feels fear. Fear of what surrender means. Fear of stepping into love that cannot be controlled. Fear of exposing wounds he has buried for years. The eclipse has shaken him awake, but awakening is never comfortable. He trembles because he knows there is no going back. He cannot run into illusions that no longer exist. The only path left is forward. And here, feminine, is where your role becomes vital. Because as he feels this breaking, this trembling, this mixture of grief, longing, and fear, he looks unconsciously to the field. He feels your steadiness. He senses whether the bond is anchored in truth or collapsing under fear. If you stand firm, his trembling finds ground. If you collapse, his fear feels confirmed. That is why your alignment now matters more than ever. The masculine may not tell you any of this. His pride may keep him silent. His ego may still resist in words or actions. But do not mistake silence for absence. He is moving, shaking, breaking. The eclipse has already begun his transformation, and the energy between you will only grow louder until the physical must reflect what has already shifted in the unseen. So if you feel his heaviness in your body, his restlessness in your chest, his longing in your dreams, trust it. These are not fantasies. They are the reality of how the eclipse touched him. He is awakening, he is grieving, he is trembling, and all of it is proof that the union is closer than ever. The masculine feels the eclipse now because you carried it first. And together, your alignment and his surrender are weaving the next stage of this sacred journey. Why this marks a turning point in union. Every journey has moments that shift everything, points where the path no longer circles, but begins to move forward with force. The eclipse is one of those moments, not because the moon darkened the sky, but because it forced both of you, feminine and masculine, to face what could no longer be carried. What collapsed during the eclipse will not rise again. What dissolved cannot return. This is why it marks a turning point in the union. For the divine feminine, the eclipse stripped illusions that made her doubt herself. The old fears of abandonment, the ache of waiting, the illusion of powerlessness. They rose one last time, only to be removed. She is no longer defined by longing, no longer crushed by silence, no longer chained to the belief that she is incomplete. This shift in her energy changes everything. When she anchors her truth, the field stabilizes. And once the field stabilizes, the masculine cannot resist it for long. For the divine masculine, the eclipse acted as a mirror. It revealed the emptiness of his distractions, the futility of his resistance, the weight of his silence. He can no longer run into illusions that dissolved in the shadow. He may still tremble, still hesitate, but the path behind him has collapsed. The only way left is forward. This is the sacred power of the eclipse. It cuts off escape routes that no longer serve the soul. Together, this creates a shift in the union that is undeniable. The feminine rises lighter, clearer, steadier. The masculine feels restless, shaken, unable to keep pretending. The field between them begins to vibrate differently, stronger, more magnetic, more aligned with truth. Even if the physical still looks uncertain, the energy has already crossed a threshold. What was once delay is now momentum. This turning point is not always visible to the outside world. Friends may not notice it. Family may not see it. On the surface, nothing may appear to have changed, but you, feminine, feel it. You feel the difference in your chest, in your dreams, in the silence. The heaviness of waiting has lifted. The fear that once drowned you feel weaker. The signs around you grow louder, almost undeniable. These are confirmations that the union has entered a new phase. Why is this moment so important? Because it proves that nothing can stop what the soul has already chosen. No illusion, no fear, no delay can hold forever. The eclipse forced alignment. It pulled away what no longer belonged and left only what is eternal. And what is eternal cannot be broken. This is not the end of the journey. There will still be steps, still be choices, still be moments of testing. But the weight has shifted. The union is no longer fragile. It is inevitable. The eclipse ensured that. So, feminine, when you wonder if you are really closer, remember this. You passed through the fire and did not collapse. He trembled, but the path behind him dissolved. The field between you is different now. Stronger, clearer, aligned. The turning point has come. The eclipse was not the ending, it was the doorway. When the energy shifts, the outer world begins to echo it. The universe has always spoken to you through signs, but after the eclipse, those signs grow louder, clearer, almost impossible to ignore. Why? Because the field of your union is vibrating at a higher frequency now, and synchronicities are the language of that frequency. One of the first synchronicities you'll notice is numbers. Repeating numbers 11, 11, 22, 22, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4 appear everywhere. On clocks, receipts, messages, street signs. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Each number carries a vibration, and these sequences are the universe's way of whispering. You are aligned. The field is active. Keep walking forward. Dreams also intensify. You may see your masculine more vividly than ever. Sometimes speaking words he hasn't yet said in the physical. Sometimes simply appearing with a presence so strong you wake with your heart racing. These dreams are not random. They are energetic meetings, proof that his soul is reaching for you, even if his body hesitates. After the eclipse, the veil between your energies thins, and the dream space becomes a bridge. Songs, phrases, and symbols begin to chase you. A lyric on the radio speaks exactly to your situation. A stranger's words echo something your masculine once said. A symbol, a feather, a butterfly, a flame, appears again and again until you cannot dismiss it. These synchronicities are not just cute signs, they are anchors. They remind you that the connection is alive, active, and moving even when you cannot see the progress in the physical. You may also feel his emotions in waves stronger than before. Sudden surges of longing, tears that come without warning, restlessness that feels foreign. These are not yours. They are his energy moving through you. The eclipse stripped his defense, and now his truth leaks through the cracks. The field makes sure you feel it, because you are the one strong enough to hold it. Even the physical world begins to align. You may find yourself in the right place at the right time, coincidentally crossing paths with him or with people connected to him. Opportunities appear that push you closer to your mission. Conversations unfold that remind you of your truth. The outer world starts to mirror the inner alignment because energy always manifests into form. But perhaps the most powerful synchronicity is the shift inside your own heart. Where there was once doubt, now there is calm. Where there was longing, now there is trust. This internal steadiness is the greatest sign of all, because it shows that the union is no longer an abstract dream. It is an anchored reality waiting to unfold in time. The feminine must remember, synchronicities are not promises of something far away. They are proof of what is already alive now. They are the universe saying, "See, you are not imagining. Feel you are not alone. Trust, it is already written." So when the numbers appear, when the songs play, when the dreams intensify, don't dismiss them. Smile. Receive them. Let them fuel your trust, because they are not just signs pointing forward. They are echoes of the new energy you are already standing in. And the more you recognize them, the stronger they grow, because the universe always amplifies what you believe. The eclipse stripped you, feminine. It cleared illusions, burned out shadows, and pulled away everything you could not carry into the next stage. Now the question is not just, do you feel the new energy? The question is, will you anchor it? Because energy is not meant to pass through you for a moment and fade. It is meant to become part of you, to reshape your choices, your vibration, your daily life. Anchoring the new energy begins with presence. After the eclipse, you may feel lighter, clearer, more aligned. But if you rush back into old cycles, worrying about timelines, obsessing over silence, doubting your worth, the new energy cannot root itself. Presence means choosing to breathe in the peace that has been offered, to sit it in trust even when the physical doesn't yet mirror the shift. It means living as if the new energy is permanent, because it is. It also means embodying wholeness. For so long, the feminine has carried the ache of waiting. She has believed that union would complete her, but the eclipse revealed the truth. She is already complete. The new energy calls her to walk as if she lacks nothing, as if her love is already whole, as if her life is already aligned. This embodiment is not denial, it is creation. When you live from wholeness, the field responds, and union anchors faster. Anchoring also requires action. Not action rooted in chasing or desperation, but inspired action that matches your new vibration. Maybe you feel called to step deeper into your mission, to create, to speak, to share. Maybe you are pulled to nurture your body, to eat, move, and rest in ways that honor your energy. Maybe you are guided to set boundaries that reflect your worth. These are not small choices. They are the ways you prove to the universe that you have received the shift. Another layer of anchoring is how you respond to his energy. The masculine will still tremble. He may still hesitate. His silence may stretch. But your role is no longer to collapse when he does. The new energy asks you to hold steady, to breathe through the waves, to respond from truth rather than fear. Each time you do, you root deeper into the frequency the eclipse gave you, and the masculine feels it. Your steadiness becomes the mirror that draws him forward. Synchronicities will guide you as you anchor. Pay attention to the numbers, the dreams, the songs, the nudges in your heart. They are not random. They are instructions. The universe is showing you how to weave the new energy into every part of your life. Each sign is a reminder. Stay here. Don't slip back. Keep choosing alignment. Most of all, anchoring means surrender. Not passive surrender, but active trust. The willingness to let the masculine's process unfold without panic. The willingness to let the physical timeline align without forcing. The willingness to believe that love is already yours, so you no longer need to grasp at it. This surrender is power. It stabilizes the field more than any action could. The eclipse has given you a gift, a clean slate, a lighter heart, a clearer truth. Now it is up to you to root that gift into your body, your choices, your presence. The more you anchor it, the less the old energy can return. And the deeper you anchor, the closer the physical union must come, because the field cannot resist what is fully embodied. This is your task now, not to chase, not to wait, but to embody, to live as though union is already alive. because it is. The eclipse was never meant to end you. It was meant to refine you. And now, as the shadows fade and the new light settles, one truth is clear. You are ready in a way you weren't before. Ready in a way the old version of you could not have imagined. Ready not just to hold this journey, but to rise into the next stage of it. For so long, the feminine carried the ache of when. When will he come back? When will the silence break? When will union finally arrive? Those questions weighed heavy on your chest. But the eclipse shifted everything. It pulled away the illusions that made waiting feel like suffering. It revealed the truth. You are not waiting anymore. You are embodying. The when no longer defines you. The now does. This is why you are prepared, because you no longer collapse under the pressure of fear. You feel it, yes. You notice it, yes. But you do not let it decide for you. You choose trust when fear whispers. You choose love when illusions press. You choose steadiness when the masculine trembles. And each time you make that choice, the universe confirms. She is ready. The masculine feels this readiness. Even in his silence, even in his hesitation, he senses the steadiness of your field. He may not understand it, but his soul recognizes it. He feels the shift, the safety, the home that your energy has become. And though his ego may still wrestle, his spirit leans forward. Because what you carry now cannot be ignored. It is magnetic. It is undeniable. It is the very frequency he has been searching for all along. You are prepared because you have been stripped. Everything false has been removed. The fears, the doubts, the stories of not being enough. They no longer define you. What remains is your essence, pure, clear, anchored. And essence is what union was always built on. Not perfection, not performance, just truth. This next stage is not about survival. It is about creation. You are no longer holding your breath, waiting for him to choose. You are breathing freely, living fully, embodying the wholeness that was always yours. And from that place, union becomes inevitable. The field cannot resist alignment when it is this strong. So feminine, hear this final message. You are prepared. The eclipse did not come to punish you. It came to prove you. It came to reveal to you what the universe already knew, that you were strong enough, wise enough, and steady enough to carry this bond into its next expression. Do not look back at what was lost. Do not fear what still shakes. Do not question whether you are enough. You are. You always were. The eclipse was simply the moment you remembered it. Now walk forward with clarity. hold your head high. Embody the love that already lives in your soul. Because this is no longer about waiting, this is about becoming. And you, feminine, have already become. The next stage is not far. The next stage is here, and you are prepared to live it.